This has my money for the ugliest Big Ten game I've seen in a very long time. But hey, credit to Rutgers for getting the win. 66-57 was the final score in the RAC, Jersey Mike's Arena. Indiana has a lot of issues. We've known that. I think I predicted like a 50-40 something game. I was kind of
Yeah,
close.
like 58 to 4 or 48 to 50, 48 to 63, maybe.
I was kind of close on that. Yeah, weird stuff happened in this game. Rutgers guys in the end played more, or made more plays offensively, made less mistakes. Indiana 18 turnovers in this game, 5 of them from Xavier Johnson, who did not even play the final minutes of this game because he punched a guy in the nuts. Could I repeat that, Cart, before you go? Do you mind if I just repeat what happened there?
Please.
Xavier Johnson, who has missed most of this season already, was ejected from a road game in the Big Ten that was a very close game when he left the game for punching a player in the nuts. That's your captain.
How many years has that guy played?
This is his 6th year of college basketball.
Understood. Okay. Some other things before we quickly get into this. Indiana committed 18 turnovers in this basketball game. Indiana went 7 for 26 from the three-point range. Indiana basketball team is what it is. Indiana shot 4 of 15 from the free throw line. 4 of 15. How do
It's
you
so
do that?
bad. It's so bad, man.
It
It's
is
so
it
bad.
is so unequivocally bad to be a Hoosier. It truly is. I mean, 4 of 15 from the free throw line. There was a point at this game where I saw possession to possession of missed free throws, air balls by Nkemzi Mbako, side of the backboard shots by Trey Galloway, getting blown by on the other end. Like what? I mean, just what a awful showing by Indiana. And we can't sugarcoat it. It was terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. Absolutely horrible. So I think this is a sign of things to come. Obviously, the record hasn't shown it. We've alluded to it. Ken Palm now predicts Indiana to win 2 of their final however many games. I think they have like 15 games left in the season. So good luck there. Like their only 2 projected wins are at home against Minnesota and at home against Penn State. That's not a lot of belief from the analytic side of your team. Rutgers got their first win in the Big Ten here. I don't think this Rutgers team is good by any means. What do you have, Cart?
Can I just get one more? Can we go back to this? Xavier Johnson got ejected for punching somebody in the nuts in this game, okay? You came up with the stat of what Xavier Johnson does against road games. Him punching somebody in the nuts wasn't even the worst part of this game. In this game, Xavier Johnson had more turnovers than assists. He had more turnovers than three-point attempts. He had more turnovers than rebounds. He had more turnovers than fouls. He had more turnovers than steals, more turnovers than blocks. He had more turnovers than shot attempts. He poured in a whopping 2 points in this game. And then to culminate that, he said, "You think that's bad? No. I got one more for that. I'm gonna punch somebody in the nuts." That's your senior point guard. That is supposedly not just the best point guard in the Big Ten. He's one of the best point guards in the country. You guys are sleeping. Like that's what we were told all summer. And now he's putting up, he turned the ball over 5 times in this game
Yeah.
and then punched someone in the nuts.
Listen,
Like, what?
I don't like antagonizing a guy individually to this
I
level,
do.
but I don't know how we can talk about it without it. Look, my basketball team, Michigan, it's full of bad players. It's full of bad teammates. It's as low as a team can get. And I can say unequivocally, honestly, Xavier Johnson is the last player in the country I would want on my team at this point. He is a disaster in all facets. He's supposed to be a leader for this team. He's not. I just don't know. I don't know how you're doing this. This is now his 3rd year at Indiana, and he's been doing shit like this his whole career, and it culminates to this. Like he just has to be better. I wouldn't even like you have what 2 months left of the season. What's the benefit of even playing him if you're Indiana? Like, how does that help your future? I just don't see it. So we'll see. I just yeah, you're right. The biggest part of this to me is like Indiana fans, and I think they're starting to accept it. I think they're starting to realize Indiana fans were so wrong about this dude. Like, he had a really good 2-month stretch that one season. He's been a horrendous player for the rest of his career in 1,000 different ways. And it's been a joke how much they believed in this guy. And now they're just getting let down for it. Mike Woodson at one point subbed out 4 starters at once. He had the full like hockey line substitutions. It killed him. Like this was a very back and forth close game for a while. When the bench was all in together, Rutgers went on a big run. How much of this loss do you put on Woodson individually in the game? I think we put a lot of this on Woodson from the offseason, but do you blame Woodson in the game for why they lost this game?
Um, to be honest with you, no, because I don't know what he's supposed to do in this game necessarily. To be honest, like what is I mean, you can go back to maybe the roster construction and who's on the roster, but with what's out there, he can't make these guys make free throws. Like he can't do that. He can't make these guys make shots. There's just guys that aren't making shots and aren't making free throws and are making bad decisions. And when you look to the bench, like what do I have down there to replace it? I got Gabe Cupps and Anthony Leal. Like, what am I like? They're not going to come in and do something that's completely drastic to what's being done by people on the court. And like, you know, they had some contribution from CJ Gunn in this game. I mean, CJ Gunn was 2 for 7 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3. But like,
that's
there's just
monumental. That's like season changing production for Indiana's guards, though. Like that's
for
horrible, but it's
Indiana.
like
It
that's
is.
so good, you know.
He's the guy. Like that's what I'm saying. It's dire situations.
Yeah,
And
it's
I hate
crazy.
that this game's happening because once again, I think Malik Renault played well in this game. He had 13 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists in this game. Like
Yeah.
proved he's a guy that can do it all. Like you just gotta lean into that. If I could do one critique, you need to completely lean into Malik Renault is the guy on this team. And then everything else go along with that. And the problem with that is as long as Xavier Johnson is your point guard and who you have, he needs to have the ball in his hands. So that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like out of timeouts, it's obvious they always go to Renault or Renew like high-low action, and then he tries to get the ball to Ware. I don't like any action that's designed that's scripted for what Renew has to do. I want the ball in Renew's hands, and I want him making the decision. And a lot of times they script like, okay, Renew, you're going to dump down to Kel'el Ware, and then Kel'el Ware like forces a contested shot that goes awry. Yeah, I Renew's so awesome. He just needs to be unlocked and just keep doing whatever he wants on the court. And I do want to give Ware credit. He had 17 rebounds in this game for a guy whose like motor was questioned. Like 17 rebounds, 3 blocks from Kel'el Ware against a Cliff Amourier front court is notable. I think Ware honestly has shown up and answered a lot of the critics this year. It just hasn't led to good basketball for Indiana because the roster stinks. Oh my God. Ware Renew, and Mbako, it doesn't matter how good they are. It does not matter how good they are. Your guards are the worst at the high major level. So
Yeah, also we talked a lot about what other guys are doing on this team. Trey Galloway gave you 4 for 13 in this game, over 4 from 3.
yeah.
0 for 2 from the line.
But he's gonna do that. I mean, he should have made the free throws, but he's gonna do that. But end of the day, though, like the team went 4 for 15 from the line. I can't believe we even hypothesized that that's on Woodson. Like these dudes just no showed.
How do you shoot 4 for 15 from the line?
You never shot 4 for 15 from the line?
No.
Huh. I don't know. Cardio Cubs check in. Only 6 minutes for Cardio Cubs tonight. Feel bad. Maybe that's going to be a thing on the road. He had a bucket, 2 points and a turnover in 6 minutes.
All right. I love my Cardio Cups check-ins.
Yeah, it's like Steven Izzo updates, right? Cardio Cups. Anything from the Rutgers side on this? I mean, they got a balanced performance. They had 5 guys in double figures. I like watching Derek Simpson, even though he was 1 for 10 from 2-point range in this game. They're not a good team, though.
2 for 13.
They're not a good team.
No. That's what makes this all like worse for Indiana. Like Rutgers is not like this team was pushed to the brink at their home court by Stonehill, who's 350th on KenPom and was out without their 2 best players in that game. Like even with how bad Indiana played, they actually got this game somewhat close towards the end. Like there was moments and then they missed free throws.
What happened to your boy Goggles, by the way? Gavin Griffiths, only 5 minutes. He played 5 less minutes than Oscar Palmquist last night.
I don't know. It seems that like they've been playing like more Jermichael Davis and then Mag's back, so that's kind of eating into his minutes, I guess. But
The
yeah, I don't
freshmen in this league stink. They stink,
know.
Carter.
They do. They truly do.
It's like the XL, like freshman class thing or whatever that is, like the
XXL.
XXL, right? It's like, some you go back and there's like, oh, there was the Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole year. That was cool. And then it's like, this is just a year we're not going to rewatch with the freshman class in a couple years. That's how I feel. All right. Okay. Indiana should be fun. Should be a fun rest of the season.
All right, wait, are you? Oh, wait, last thing. There was a certain somebody who went against all odds and said that the Indiana team would not make the tournament.
Yeah.
That gentleman was you.
Yeah.
You're almost to the finish line, pal.
I mean, they've won more games than they should, so I don't feel comfortable. But yeah, this team, the analytics hates this team. They have to win so many games to get there now. And I mean, like I said, Kempon projects them to win 2 of them. So I will say that grossly underestimates how many games they're still going to win at home. Like
Yeah, assembly's good for some wins.
the Big Ten stinks, and Indiana will win more games than they lose at home. But they're going to need to win road games to make the tournament. And I don't think this team's capable of beating anybody on the road except for Michigan. And what do you want, a cookie? I know a guy who has some cookies if you want a cookie for beating Michigan on the road.
Speaking of that, I got to get to it.
All right, Indiana, we'll be here all season.